Yeah, good afternoon. I've called you here today just to talk about a collision that occurred just after 2:30 a.m. this morning on North East Road, at the junction of North East Road and Pittman Road at Windsor Gardens. It was a collision involving two motor vehicles. The motor vehicles involved were a BMW sedan and also a station wagon, Holden Commodore station wagon. The collision was a high impact collision, and as a result of that collision there was a large amount of damage strewn across the roadway. As a result of the collision, the driver of the BMW has sustained some significant head and spinal injuries. That driver was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital and I understand has undergone surgery today. The driver of the Holden Commodore has also been taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with some head injuries also, but I understand that the driver of the Holden Commodore has been discharged from hospital. So the main concern for us is the fact of the speed that was involved in this collision. We'll allege that the speed of the BMW at the time was probably in excess or double in excess of the posted speed limit for that roadway. We're still investigating the true accurate speed of that vehicle, but we know it was definitely in excess of twice the speed limit for that posted roadway. The vehicle at this point in time, our investigations show that the vehicle drove through a red light that was controlling the intersection, and the driver of the Holden Commodore was making a right-hand turn onto North East Road from Pittman Road and on a green arrow and was collided with. There were two further other vehicles that were involved in the collision as a result of the initial collision. Debris hit a vehicle that was stopped at the intersection of North East Road and Pittman Road, and debris from the initial vehicle collision collided with that vehicle, and the Holden Commodore, as a result of the collision, was forced off the roadway and into a vehicle that was actually parked at a business premises. So, as we've said time and time again, the research shows us that those people that engage in high-speed driving on our roads will end up with significant injuries, if not fatalities. And the message we're trying to put across to the public and continue to put across to the public is please ensure that you are driving to the posted speed limits and that you are concentrating and focusing purely on the driving task at hand. The speeding, just even a small amount over the speed limit, we know contributes significantly to your chances of being involved in a vehicle collision. So again, we just stress to the public to ensure that you drive to the speed limit. The collision doesn't just necessarily impact the vehicles involved, it has much broader impacts in regards to family, community and workmates. And we certainly see that with vehicle collisions that involve high speed and the amount of trauma that's caused as a result of those collisions. I'm happy to take any questions.
What could have been the outcome of this crash?
The outcome could have been significantly worse. The high impact, as I said before, of that collision, we're quite fortunate that no one's actually died as a result of that collision.
How lucky is everyone that everyone is relatively
exceptionally fortunate not to have had a fatality in this instance.
The BMW, the driver of that car, are they the registered owner of the car? Was the car being driven by someone else? Was it reported as stolen? Or
no, the car wasn't reported as stolen. They were the appropriate person to be driving that vehicle at the time.
Would the police be investigating if possibly there were other factors involved in terms of why they were travelling that fast? Were they had they been drinking, that kind of thing?
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, it's a preliminary at the moment in regards to the investigation, but certainly as a result of that, we'll look at whether or not they were affected by alcohol or drugs, or are there any other factors that cause that person to engage in that kind of speed.
Do you know the age of the driver?
The driver was 18 years of age.
The BMW driver?
Correct.
And the age of the woman in the Commodore?
The driver of the Commodore was a 37-year-old woman.
You don't often see the engine ejected from a car. Does that speak volumes about the impact and how severe it was?
Yes, most certainly. And again, that's the collision speed. The faster the collision, the greater the impact between two forces. So yeah, it was a significant collision, and we are alleging that significant speeds were involved in that collision.
In your experience, how rare is it to see, when you look at how far the debris had been scattered across the scene, it was a huge debris field. How often does that happen in your experience?
Well, again, that's reflective of the speeds involved generally. The higher the impact and the higher the speed, quite often we'll see debris scattered for many hundreds of metres.
It was only 2 weeks ago we were in here because someone had crashed their car into a tree on Torrens Road, and again, high speed was a factor that in that crash. The engine more of it. Like, how frustrating is it that we keep seeing high-speed crashes like this in, you know, metropolitan areas where there's, traffic lights, there's police out there on the road every day. I mean, people just aren't getting the message.
Yeah, look, we are frustrated. But again, it's a small portion of the community that aren't listening. The vast majority of people do obey speed limits, but it's that small minority that we're looking at to try and drive that message home to them that it's not necessarily just their speed that's going to impact on people. It's also going to impact on them and their families, and the injuries that they could have could be lifelong injuries that they sustain. We just ask people to think about their own safety when they get in a car and think about making sure that they're not driving affected by alcohol or drugs. Think about always making sure they've got a seatbelt on.
Is it, I mean, this is an 18-year-old driver who's in the BMW. How would you describe what their actions in driving at this speed allegedly and running a red light?
Well, obviously they're driving in a manner that's dangerous to other road users. It's as simple as that. It would suggest to me that they're not thinking about what they're doing. At the time, they need to be ensuring that they are obeying the speed limits, that they are obeying the traffic controlled intersections. If people comply with the road laws as they stand and concentrate when they're driving, we won't have these collisions.
Is it an issue for younger drivers who perhaps think that they're invincible and that something like this won't happen to them, but as we've seen, these things do happen when you're driving it?
Yeah, look, it's a message for all road users, regardless of age. You are required to comply with the road legislation, okay? And if you do comply with the road legislation, you'll get to your destination, you'll get home. It's those people that decide to take risk-taking behaviour that jeopardise not only themselves but other road users.
What sort of charges, if any, will police be looking to lay?
Oh, well, obviously, as I said, the manner of driving was dangerous, so that would be the first thing we'll look at. But obviously, we'll look at other drivers depending on his toxicology results, as well as the nature of the injuries going forward to the other driver.
Is there any indication of racing, street racing, or anything like that?
No,
Was he a P-plater or?
I don't have that information.
How lucky is it that no one was killed and another person was seriously hurt in this?
We're probably fortunate it happened at 2:30 in the morning and not at another time period, because obviously there wasn't much traffic on the road at that time.